Hey, welcome back, guys, to Surviving Hollywood. I'm Johnny Ray Diaz.
I am Aaron Arnold.
I'm Austin Arnold.
And once again, we are joining you guys via Zoom, hanging out in the quarantine. Today, we had a special guest, actress, producer, entrepreneur, podcaster. She does it all, Katherine Castro. She was amazing.
Great energy.
Super great energy. I love that this podcast went in all different kinds of directions, talking about relationships, from that to diet, lifestyle, and of course, all the amazing things she's done. One thing that I really liked is she has her own podcast called Talk Fast, Listen Slow, that she hosts with a friend of hers, where they talk about relationships, sex, mental health in LA, predominantly focusing on the Latino community. And I listened to a couple episodes already. Hey, I already subscribed, and she's got one more fan.
Yeah, she actually got real with us about that.
She has her own podcast. She's also on another podcast where she's an actress called America 2.0. That's out now. That's getting a ton of views, a ton of rave reviews as well. That's with Patrick J. Adams, I think, from Suits. Lawrence Fishburne, scripted all-star cast about a scripted story of a man trying to get into the White House and change things. America 2.0. Check it out.
Look, guys, yes, great actress. Yes, great artist, producer. We get all that. What I liked about her is the entrepreneur spirit of her, that she got in at the ground floor, I guess, of this new company. You can look it up, called Bloomi, specifically for women and women of color, but just generally women, where they make products for women's sex lives, women's hygiene, and they have a certain standard that is not met by the rest of the industry. And she tells us all about that. So she's trying to do some good too.
In terms of like no chemicals, right?
No chemicals. Yeah, stuff like that.
All natural.
But overall, she has a great energy. You're going to love this episode. I think she gets real with us about a lot of different things, because she's just used to talking on the mic and being honest, I guess.
I can honestly say, hands down, this is one of my favorite podcasts so far. And there's only one word to describe it: delightful.
Wow.
Aww.
All right.
Enjoy
So here it comes, guys. Enjoy. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, Catherine.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo están ustedes?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Good.
We all speak Spanish.
You do? Okay. Awesome.
No, we don't. I'm the only one that does. I'm the only one.
I'll probably be going back and forth with a little bit of Spanish just because it's my first language.
Okay.
So,
no worries.
I'll try and keep up then.
Yeah, we'll be all right. How's everything going?
Oh my God. So hot. I'm having a lot of trouble with the heat right now.
Yeah. We're in West Hollywood. It's so hot here.
Yes, I'm in West Hollywood too. Where are you in West Hollywood?
Like by the Whole Foods, like
Yes.
Fountain and
Fairfax-ish.
Yes. Okay. I'm by Earth Cafe and you know that Restoration Hardware?
I know Earth Cafe.
On Melrose. Okay, so the Restoration Hardware is across from.
Oh, you're about.
Well, I'm on the. It doesn't matter. I'm on the same side as. Right? So,
Nice.
so hot here.
So
I
hot.
can't stand it. And
Is there no air conditioning? Do you guys have air conditioning in West Hollywood, or is that?
Yeah, I do, but still hot.
Not during a podcast.
That's true. Not during the podcast.
It's so hot that not even the AC is cooling the room.
Yeah.
So luckily I have a backyard, so I sit outside like in the shade y se siente un poco fresco, but
Nice.
That's what I would have said too.
So, but anyway, surviving the heat right now. Forget Hollywood. Let's survive the heat.
Surviving the heat in Hollywood.
Boom.
Yes. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well as far as the quarantine goes. I mean, how are you kind of holding up in this whole thing right now?
Wait, are we going already?
Oh, we're just kind of chatting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but we just keep it conversational.
Yeah.
Now that I gave my address, that's
Yeah.
that part. But after this, maybe we'll get into it now.
Our address.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's been interesting. I've always been much of a homebody. So I guess I've always lived my life self-quarantining myself. I don't go out unless necessary. I love to be home. I do miss like going to the gym, for instance, but I can work out in my backyard. I miss traveling. I miss, when I'm just like bored of being here, just get on the plane and out of here.
Oh yeah, where's your go-to?
Where would I go to?
Where is your go-to that you like to go?
Gosh, there's so many. Well, I go back home a lot, the Dominican Republic, Paris. I love Paris. Love Paris. I spent some time there years ago. I studied French there.
You speak many languages, right?
Yeah.
How did you learn so many?
Well, Spanish is my first language. We speak Spanish in the DR. English, I learned when I was a kid because we lived in Washington, D.C. Well, I lived in Alexandria, Virginia. My dad was assigned to the Dominican Embassy in D.C. And so I did kindergarten through 4th grade here in the States. French, I studied French at Alliance Française in Dominican Republic, and then I finished in Paris. Portuguese, I finished it off. Portuguese, I just picked it up. Doing capoeira, taking martial arts classes, and all the class was always in Portuguese. And it's similar, like, to some things. If you hear, you're like, oh, this is similar to Spanish, but then there are some words that I couldn't really figure it out with the Spanish, but then the root of the word was similar, the same as French. And so I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like a mix of Spanish and French, and voila, I just picked it up, literally. I can read it. Writing it, it's, so-so, but me defiendo.
Je ne sais pas.
Todo bom.
Tudo bem, isso.
I know very little.
Well, Katherine, we're new fans of you. We see you have a large following on Instagram and all over, but I guess how would our audience know you best?
How would they know me best?
Yeah, like you wear many hats. You're
or
an
even
actor.
Your audience, like where is what are you most known for, do you think? Like, how do you have such a huge following?
The majority are from Latin America. I would say that is probably from the work I did back in the Dominican Republic before moving here. I did do some, TV work in the Dominican Republic and also some films. And then I guess during the transition here with, movies that I've been in, movies that I've also produced. So I think it's a little combination of both. And just now recently I joined into the podcast world.
Yeah,
we watched
episodes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's so much fun. And the way this the podcast came about was my friend Angela and I just, having some girl talks at my place.
We have boy talk, so we do it.
Now, for the folks at home who don't know about the podcast, it is called
Talk Fast, Listen Slow.
And it's about love, sex, relationships, and just life in LA, and specifically coming from the point of view of the Latina community, right? Latina
and Dominican community. We felt that there wasn't, there is a big Latino community here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But we feel that there's not that, we haven't seen a Dominican voice out there. I mean, there's a few. Of course, my friend Sasha Mercy, who's now here in LA, and D Nasty are part of that. But we felt that we kind of like needed to put that side of the Caribbean Latino community and hear our side of the story as well. And Angela and I just started, talking about different things. And every time we talked about a topic, we're like, wait a minute, this is a podcast because we need to have other people come, and discuss these things with us. And that's how it just happened. 2 years in the work, our work schedules, we were super busy, and we just one day sat down like, let's just do this. Let's not wait to have like the perfect scenario. And we went into the studio on February 29th. We recorded 3 episodes, and then sure enough, quarantine hit.
Oh man.
The beauty is you can do it from home now.
Yes, I mean, it's kind of been a blessing in disguise because people now more than ever want to be connected, right? And then just talk about their experience and like.
Can I ask a stupid question, Catherine? This might be super dumb, but like, how is sex and relationships different in the Latino or Dominican community, or why is there no voice for sex and relationships in the Latino?
We feel that, you know, coming from not only being Latinos, but coming from the Dominican Republic, you know, an island, it's still quite taboo to talk about sex, talk about orgasm, just talk about stuff like that in the open. And as women, it's very much a, you know, male dominated culture where if the man has multiple partners or, you know, throughout his lifetime, he's like, wow, he's amazing. He's quite the macho man. But if a woman talks about sex, it's like, oh my God, how dare you? You need to be a prude. It's like, can we cuss here?
Oh, yeah, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. she's such a hoe, you know, because and so we want to have that voice, be open about it. You know, we have sex. We love sex. We love having orgasms, and, you know, why not talk about it? It's just, you know, part of life, just like breathing. It's a basic need, necessity of living, right? Breathing, hearing, food, you know, touch. Sex is part of that.
What is the key to a female orgasm? I've given them, but I, you know, for those that
have you?
Yeah. But I just want to hear from a pro.
Well, I don't say that I'm a pro, but I'm experienced. Yeah.
What's the key?
What's the key? I think
it's different for everybody, right?
It's different for everyone. It's you know, there's a rhythm to it. I think first of all, you need to have a nice open communication with your partner, and kind of like figure out the flow between you guys, and definitely, you know, good connection and good communication. Communication is key, and be open to, I guess, to playing around, you know, to different things. Not be judgmental, and also ask questions like, what do you like? But without having it be kind of like an interview in the middle of.
Right.
That's your problem, Austin.
I always
you turn it into an interview.
Austin is looking for like a single line or something he could just.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work. A connection.
Well, I don't think it's a lot of work. I think these are all things that happen simultaneously. You know, when you're with that person that you really like or that you have a relationship with, the bond starts forming in time, right? And then these are all just things that happen all at the same time. Just naming them one by one, they do sound like a lot of work and a lot, but when you're with that person, like, it just comes together, right?
Yeah.
Either it comes together or it doesn't. So,
I get it.
You're going to have to tune into multiple episodes of our podcast.
Yeah.
So talking about the podcast, I listened to a couple of episodes, the first couple, and from what I gathered, you and your friend Angela, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys have very different views in sort of in terms of relationships, right?
Why is that? What do you mean?
So she's very, I would say, based on what you said, very traditional, and you're kind of more of like, no, I need my alone time. Nothing wrong with that. I need my alone time too. So I get that.
You guys can.
But how did you guys kind of work all that out? You know what I mean? Because they're very different, and I guess that makes it polarizing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's precisely why it worked for us, because Angela always comes to my house for a coffee, which I made myself my cafecito before starting, and Angela is very much, I think, precisely because we're opposite like that. This is why we get along and we laugh a lot, because she's, you know, not that I'm not romantic, but she's a romantic one. She's, you know, the one that believes in love and, you know.
You don't believe in love, Catherine?
I believe in love, but I just have a different way of believing in love.
She believes in love short term.
Not necessarily short term. I just don't believe, you know, that love should be under the confinements of what is considered traditional. I think anything, when it comes to love and relationships, anything that is traditional, it's, you know, you're trying to fit into a box of society, and then that's when you start kind of judging yourself, judging your partner, judging the relationship, trying to fulfill an expectation that society has placed upon us. And I don't think society should be involved in the relationship that you have with your significant other, right? And
hell no.
And I'm very much like that with marriage as well. I mean, I don't know that I believe in marriage. I think when someone is committed, when you're committed to someone and that someone is committed to you, you don't need a piece of paper to
I don't need the government to tell me I'm in love.
Exactly. So that's how I feel about it.
Would you say it's more like you're just against the idea of the institution of it then? You're more against the idea of the institution of marriage, not necessarily against marriage, but just the idea of like.
I don't think she's into being with somebody for a long period of time.
No, that's not true.
I didn't say that.
Long period is like 50 years. I'm not saying, you know.
Well, listen, for me, one of the things about relationship is forever, you know, when someone says, I'm going to love you forever for the rest of my life. I mean,
they're lying. They're trying to get
yes. Like,
trying to get in your pants.
don't say something that you're not sure yourself that that's going to happen. Like, for me, forever is right now, this moment here. Yes. Within what's happening right now, this is my forever. Yes, I do love you. Right. But, you know, we change, we evolve, and with that, feelings as well. Now, long-term relationship, I mean, I have been in long relationships. When it comes to marriage, like, for instance, I don't think I could ever live with someone. I think maybe, like, I'm open to marriage, but it would have to be that maybe he lives in his place and I live in my place.
That's fair.
That way it'll work out. Or we have like a big ass house where he has his side of the house.
Wow.
I have my side of the house. And then maybe we have what I call the mating room, right? Because I like my space, and there are days that I don't want to see anyone. I don't want to be around anyone, and I don't want to talk with anyone. And it's not that I'm angry or whatever. I'm just, you know, in my space, and I want to be in that quiet space.
Hey, I totally get that, because I feel like that way a lot sometimes. On the podcast, I heard someone refer to it as the Frida Kahlo house.
Exactly.
Kind of like that, where she had her own areas. We make art together, and after that, we retire to our separate quarters.
Exactly. That's how I feel it should be, because also, you know, being in a relationship, which I think is great. I mean, it's, you know, 50% you and 50% the other person, and that becomes a 100% of the relationship. But we all have baggage and, you know, our stuff that we bring into the relationship. I feel that maybe sleeping with someone every single day for the rest of your life and not have that separation of just you enjoying your own self, your moment, being with yourself, things get, I don't know, you can lose a spark, you can lose the desire to even see that person. I mean, I know personally, and I'm talking, and again, I'm not talking for everyone, I'm talking about for me. I know when I've been with someone, let's say if we're traveling together and we've been traveling together for 2 weeks, I kid you not, I pick a fight. So I'm fucking tired, like, leave me alone. Don't even look at me, right? But that's just me, and I'm aware of it. And before, I didn't know what was happening with, like, why would I always, if everything was perfect, why was I fighting? Now I understand that I need my space.
Need space. So
I think that having separate rooms, either if it's a big house, separate wings, or even in a smaller house, separate rooms, or each one in your houses, think that leaves space to have the desire to like, oh, you know what? I want to see him today, or I want to see her. I feel like I want to spend the night with this person, and, you know, spend the night, and the next day go back to your house. But kind of like room for breathing and having that desire. Nacer en ti, you know, massive fact that I want to see him, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I guess the hardest part would be once you have a kid, separate houses.
That ain't happening, bud.
Might be harder.
Well, I mean, for those that want to have kids, yes, I know.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
Problem solved. Well, actually, that moves us perfectly into the next topic. So you talk about love and all this, how you feel like you're not quite a romantic. Is that what I'm kind of gathering?
I am actually very romantic. Okay. I am.
Okay, because there's a romantic comedy that you also wrote as well called Someday.
Oh.
Right? Which is interesting because this is about falling in love on an airplane, right? But at the end, you guys go your separate ways, maybe. Exactly. So it kind of works out. Exactly. So how did this idea come up for this film? And is this based on real life then?
Yes, it is.
It's happened to you.
It's someone that I met on a plane.
How true is it to what happened to you? Like, what were the...
Pretty much almost everything in that movie, except, of course...
I only saw the trailer. Like, what...
Oh, it's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be on Amazon Prime soon.
Awesome. Ooh. We were wondering how to watch it.
So the story is two strangers, right, that are on a flight from Australia to Los Angeles.
Coach or first class?
Nobody's meeting on Coach.
Dude, it was a celebrity she met.
On Coach, nobody wants to sit next to each other. Dude, I don't even want to sit in the middle seat.
This is Aaron watching the movie. Key plot points.
It's it was first class, so we made it like that in the movie. Adam and Melody. Adam is a renowned, you know, celebrity musician, composer. And Melody is a doctor, and she has no idea who he is. And precisely because she had any idea who he was, they were able to just connect, you know, on a human level, one to one, soul to soul, and just open up and talk about life, you know, sex, breakups, you know, everything. And along the way, they bonded, they created a bond, and what I like to call, they had an affair, right? But it was an affair of the minds. Clear, of course, nothing happened on the plane, or you know.
Nothing did? They didn't join the Mile High Club?
Oh, you gotta watch. All right.
Well, I would not disclose that even if I did.
Right.
But yeah, so it did happen to me. We just changed who this character was. It's someone that's really well known that was sitting next to me, and of course,
it was Bad Bunny, correct?
It was
Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny. Okay.
I love Bad Bunny. No, it wasn't Bad Bunny, but it.
Okay.
But
the chat box, and nobody will know except us.
It was Brad Pitt. No, I'm kidding.
Hey.
I bet it was Jeremy Renner.
I would have fell in love with him too.
Right? So yeah, I'm always when I'm on flights, I'm always como en mi mundo. I rarely talk with people on flights.
People probably want to talk to you though, right?
Sometimes, yes, but usually when I get on a plane, I just put the headphones on and I tend to fall asleep right away. And it's kind of like my little Zen moment. It becomes like my little world. And when I'm on a window seat, that no one can talk to me, which is why I usually love the window seats, because I don't want anyone talking with me. And this one was a middle aisle, and this guy walks.
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. So this guy walks in, trying to be, you know, incognito, which is the weirdest thing. Like, if you want to be incognito, don't wear a hat and sunglasses and stuff. Just walk in and, you know, don't worry about it. If you don't, how how do you say it in English? Como si no llamas la atención.
Yeah, you don't want any attention.
Exactly.
Called to, yeah.
Exactly. So then just be normal. And when he's sitting down next to me, he says hi. I'm like, oh, hi. And he's looking at me a lot. And this is something that happens to me a lot. In Spanish, we say, in the GR, we say that I live in Belén con los pastores, which means I'm always lost. Like, people that I know have passed right in front of me or they're next to me, and I don't realize it because I'm just in my own world. And so I thought that maybe I knew him because he didn't stop looking at me. And so I tried to glance, and I was like, I definitely didn't know who he was. And he started talking with me, and I had my headphones on. I was like, right, he clearly doesn't pick up any social cues of, someone doesn't want.
He's used to getting what he wants.
What was that?
He's used to getting what he wants if he's a famous actor, right?
I don't know. Maybe. So anyway, we started talking, and I still didn't. I literally had to ask him, who he was, like his name, because we were talking, and half through the flight, that's where we introduced each other after talking like for 2 hours. So I'm like, oh well, by the way, I'm Katherine. What is your name? And he was stunned. He couldn't.
Is this an actor? Can you at least say, or what their profession is?
Yeah, give
Can
us
you
a clue,
what their profession is?
Come on.
I'm on the edge of my seat here. I want to know.
I'd rather not.
It was a real diehard.
Are you okay with your eyes?
It was windy.
So anyway, I had always wanted to make a movie about two people that meet on a plane because I travel a lot, and two people that have an affair, the minds. And I teamed up with JS, my writer and director. We talked about the story, and we did it, and it went all over the world. People fell in love with it. It won tons of awards, and it's going to go to Amazon Prime soon. I think next.
Awesome.
And how did you find distribution for it, if I may ask? Like through a film festival?
Through film festivals. I mean, the movie is actually on planes already.
Really?
Which is really, really cool.
Give people some ideas,
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Were you approached from some reps, or did you have to go market it to them and find them?
I was approached, actually. I was approached. On some occasions, I was approached several times. I turned down a few of them. And also, like, in the case of Amazon Prime, we're going to put it ourselves at Amazon Prime, which is really, really easy. So, we did both ways, both with approaching and having it placed on, on airlines and different other mediums, and us through Amazon Prime.
Was it a struggle? Like, did you have to choose between, this person's offering us the most money, but this person can get us on platforms that I actually really want to get on? Was that a struggle, or?
I think in this case, it's something that you choose, like, what's the most important. I mean, of course, money is always going to be important, but in the particular case of this movie, we just want the movie to get out there and to be seen.
Right.
So, for instance, I had a friend from Australia message me and say, like, hey, I just saw you on a flight. So that's really, really cool. So I think if you find a nice balance between both, of course you want to be paid, but you want your movie just to be out there in the world, then you find that nice balance.
That's really cool. Now I know you also have your own production company. You produce this film too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went on looking at your IMDb. You've also produced a lot of other films as well. Is producing something you always wanted to do, or how did you kind of get into that?
I don't know that it's something that I always wanted to do. I just think it happened naturally because I started getting involved in films, and for me, I just felt that my brain was seeing things like, oh my God, this can be done, this and this. Like, it was like a natural instinct of things that I knew that could be done or how to get them done. And so that's just how it happened. And so now I do enjoy it a lot, actually.
Do you have any projects that you're going to be producing coming up soon?
Yes. I'm working on a new project. I'm teaming up with the same Someday team. This one is a film about mental health and suicide prevention. I won't say much about it other than, it's about bringing awareness on mental health and suicide prevention, also inspired by true events. And we were supposed to shoot in June, but of course now everything is in pausa. But we put the team back together, and we're getting a lot of support. So we're really excited about shooting this one.
And you're the lead?
I'm one of the leads. We haven't cast the other characters. We're going to wait, of course, until
everything's normal.
Everything goes back to normal, whenever that may be. But this one is so important because I feel that we need to bring much more attention to, mental health, especially now more than ever, with a lot of people going through the quarantine and going through anxiety and mental breakdown. Mental health could be possibly the next pandemic. So
really,
yeah.
Because of this pandemic, or just generally speaking, mental health is such an issue?
Well, mental health right now, it's huge. In the United States, it's the 10th leading cause of death. But because of what's going on worldwide, we're seeing a lot of people having, mental breakdowns and going through a lot of anxiety. So there's.
Is this personal to you?
Worldwide.
Is this something that affects you, or like how is this issue so personal to you?
It did affect me a few years ago, and I didn't know what it was. And this is when I was before being diagnosed with Hashimoto's. But in the case of this film in particular, it's someone committed suicide next to me.
Oh, damn.
And yeah. And so I didn't understand why I had to witness that, why this person did that. And I think even doing this movie is a way for myself to work to process all this, putting it out there and sharing it with the world and letting people know that if you're going through something, there is help. Ask for help. Don't be ashamed. And I still think it's a little bit of a stigma to talk about having depression. I have someone in my family a few years ago that had a mental breakdown, and I flew back home for that. And so I think in one way or another, it affects everyone. I think we've all had experienced some brushes of it, right? And of course, and I think all of us at some point have had some sort of depression in one way or another, but not everyone deals with it the same way. So there are some people that, like this girl that committed suicide, that take it to the extreme. And so imagine feeling you having no way out, and that your way out is just, committing suicide. So we want to put the word out there. We want to create a conversation, to initiate the conversation and keep it going and see what can we do about this.
What's the film called?
It's I haven't announced it yet.
Oh, yeah, tell us.
I thought this would be an exclusive with us.
We're not even supposed to say that she's in the movie.
Exactly. All right, we'll save it.
God. But yes, we're seeing also a lot of people having a hard time. Imagine people losing their jobs because of what's happening, or not knowing how they're going to be able to pay their rents, you know, their livelihood, provide for their family, their kids. So it is something right now that through the current pandemic, I think has been brought much more to the forefront. So
do you feel that stigma is also really prevalent in the Latino community? Because I feel like, especially in my family, like we never talk about anything. It's like we don't, you know what I mean? Like you're not really supposed to talk about how things are affecting you.
Absolutely. I think in the Latino community, and especially for men, for instance, where men have to be, you know, the strong one and, you know, and the macho, I'm sure it's really, really hard. And in my family, it's one of the men in my family that suffers from depression, but it's also hard for women because women have to be in the Latino community, you know, it's almost like you have to be perfect. You have to be the perfect mom. And if something happens, it's your fault, you know, or if you say that you're going through something or you're depressed, oh my God, here she is again. She's being unemotional on her hormones, or she's probably on her period. Yeah. So it's very dismissive.
Right.
Very dismissive of what you're going through. And it's like, it's not validating you as a human being, that what you are going through, what you're feeling is worth anything. Like, we don't have the time for that. Like, just get over it. No, right. You can't just, some people can't just get over it. Right.
I used to hear that a lot. You just got to get over it.
Exactly. Like, just, you know, man up. I'm sure that's one of the things, you know, tough it up, get over it, whatever, is no big deal. And I feel it's very dismissive. And I think that we should pay more attention to when someone says, I'm going through something, you know, or just hear me out.
In white families, they won't stop asking about how we feel.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's probably slightly better, but
yeah. How are you feeling today? You asked me that 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly. Mom, fine.
That's it. We're going to the doctor.
Exactly.
So also, you know, talking about producing and acting and stuff, I also direct as well, and I put myself in things that we produce together, the three of us.
Johnny's a great director.
It can be super challenging, obviously, sometimes to do all these hats into one project. How do you find that balance?
Yeah, you do so much.
Good question.
You don't live with a man.
That's one.
Well, he's in the other wing, so you guys don't see each other.
Yeah.
That's one. I live by myself. Right now, my mom is here from the Dominican Republic. I flew her in before everything got kind of crazy. You know, just to make, because the last thing I needed was to stress about her and is she okay and if she's going to be healthy. So I brought her here. But in general, I'm mostly live by myself. So that's one way to keep, you know, the peace of mind. But I think the first thing to balance it is I have to be involved in something that I'm passionate about, a subject that it talks about, a subject that I'm passionate about, that I believe in, and, you know, that I want to put that out there. So that's one. And second, I really believe in teamwork. I think teamwork is everything. I do not believe in doing anything by myself. I mean, it's impossible to do anything on your own. So surrounding yourself with people that share your vision, that are passionate about, if it's a movie, that's that movie that they're passionate about, what you guys are talking about, what you're going to put out there, and just let everyone, what I like to call, you know, bring in the best of what they do, and then just let them do their thing, right? Just let everyone do their thing, and just make sure that we all have the same vision, because it's for the greater good of the project. So if the project, si le va bien al proyecto, nos va a ir bien a todos, right?
Sí, sí.
So, sí. So I think that helps a lot. You know, just teaming up with people that you get along with, that, you know, you leave the egos at the door, and it's really about having fun together.
You hear that, guys? Leave the egos at the door.
Well, not my ego, buddy. From a more technical standpoint, is there anything like any tidbit you picked up in the pre-production phase or maybe like the saving money phase? Like since you've directed multiple features, like, oh, we learned this by the second or third feature and this saved us money, or this was so much easier that we learned.
Yeah, well, I haven't directed yet, but
producing.
But directing is something that I'd like to do later down the line. Yes, doing pre-production way early on, definitely. Don't leave pre-production, for if you're going to shoot in, let's say in December, if you can start pre-production, like soft pre-production early on in the year, just start gathering your team. That definitely helps a lot, because by the time you're really in pre-production, it's really about fine-tuning, and because everything at some point when you're producing something is going to go wrong, and that always happens. But if you give yourself enough time to do pre-production and go over everything with your team, with your director, then and leave no stone unturned, then you do that, and by the time you're on set, it goes really, really smooth. So I think pre-production is key. You do a nice, good pre-production, everything else.
If you're not showing up day one with a shot list, you're already fucked.
Yeah, that's what you say. Now on some of the acting side, I know that you were doing a scripted podcast called America 2.0.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit for the audience, what is that project exactly about, and how did you? What was that audition process like? How did you get that?
Well, this one was such a pleasure to work on, because this one was written and directed by JS.
Oh, so he did it as well?
Yes, he wrote that, directed it. And so he put together a nice group of people. And
let's name them. Lawrence Fishburne, Patrick Adams from Suits.
Yes, Lawrence Fishburne, Patrick J. Adams,
Dana Bash as herself.
My friend Spencer Garrett. I mean,
Kate
it was a lot of fun. It was a political show, but with all the news, with us being bombarded with so many political, negativity and bad news, this one is a political scripted series that has, that gives us hope, that has actually a positive outlook on how things could be. Right. And so it was such a pleasure. It was so much fun being in the recording booth. And funny enough, I mean, if you had a chance to hear it, any of the episodes?
I watched the trailer, but that was it.
We just found out about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I think you're gonna like it. The funny thing is that when you hear it, you'll realize, I mean, it almost sounds that we're all together, in the same, that we recorded together, and we didn't. And the sound is just so seamless. And you hear it, and I heard the entire series, of course. I felt that all the voices really took me there. And so that's, of course, J.S. and his writing partner. They're phenomenal writers, and America 2.0 is just, they were able to put that cast because the writing is that good.
Right. So that's not a show you'd want to ad lib on. That's all in the script. Yeah,
no, that one is definitely all in the script. And with JS, what I like about working with JS is that he's very collaborative. So he sits with his actors and he goes over the scene and he talks about it, but there's no ad-libbing unless it makes sense. But every single word that he writes, there is a reason for it, and you can sit with him and he'll explain to you, why that is written there, and that way, and why he wants it set like that, which is, which almost makes your process as an actor easier, because he does go through everything, step by step with you. So, but he is very collaborative. I mean, whatever you bring to the table, he sits with you and we discuss it. and then he just lets you do your thing.
Will there be? Yes, Johnny.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Will there be a sequel, America 3.0?
What happened to America 1.0?
I hope so. Yeah, right. I hope so. I mean, it would be a lot of fun. I know that they are working to get it on TV. So that would be really, really amazing. Him and Spencer Garrett, I'm working on that. So, fingers crossed. The funny story about this is that I wasn't in the recording booth. I wasn't in when Lawrence Fishburne did his part. But then I ran into Lawrence Fishburne at, what's the name of that plaza where they have the Crunch on Sunset and the AMC?
I know.
Yeah, by the Sunset 5. The movie theaters there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Go there all the time.
So I ran into Lawrence Fishburne
Going
there.
into the Crunch.
And walking to the elevator, and I'm like, Mr. Fishburne? He looks at me like, yes. I'm like, oh my God, it's so, we talked about it. It's so nice to meet you.
And then the elevator closed and he was trapped.
Okay.
No. He's a gentleman. So actually, we were talking outside of the elevator. We're talking about America 2.0, and the elevator door opened, and I was just going to let him, go in the elevator. I was going to wait for the other one because I didn't want it to be, even though it was having like a fan moment, it was really about talking, we were cast in America 2.0 together.
Yeah, for sure.
And as the elevator door opened, he walked to the elevator and he held the door open for me. I'm like, oh, right. I'm getting in the elevator. And so we were chit-chatting about the project, and that was a really cool moment to meet Morpheus.
Yeah, of course. Which pill did he give you? Just kidding. No, I was actually going to ask, you kind of mentioned this a second ago, that when you're recording like a show like that, you're in the recording booth alone, obviously. Mm-hmm. So how do you know how to handle the scene or how to respond to another actor when you never actually hear their delivery?
On one of my scenes, I did have one of the actors there, and of course Diaz is right there with you, the director. He was right there with us. So before going in, he worked with the other actor and myself, and we worked on the scene, and we read the scene. We didn't, well, it's not reading, but we did the scene with Diaz there. And so that helps a lot because it gives you that, that comfort. But in one of the other scenes, the other actor that I was doing my line with, he wasn't there. And so I was so lucky that Spencer Garrett was there and he did the scene with me. And so when you get the opportunity to work with an actor like Spencer, it just, you just rise to the occasion because you're right there. Like Spencer just saying the line, it's like, oh my God, just saying the line. He's so good. And so it was really, really good to get to do that with him,
And what character do you play in this series?
Oh, I play Rita Torres. I play a Latina mom and a single Latina working mom.
Awesome.
Austin, didn't you work with Spencer Garrett in Bosch season something?
I didn't. I wish. Oh. I mean, I hope I get to work with them again.
Right, but Austin was in Bosch. I was asking if
I didn't get to work with him. I wish.
Oh.
Right? Isn't he amazing?
He's awesome. I think he's really talented.
So
I'll say it.
Will and Grace, if you like that show.
I will say that I did see Lawrence Fishburne one time on set on a project I was working on, because at the time I think he was married to Gina Torres.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was there, and I was terrified to say anything to him. I saw him. He was with his kids, and I was like, I don't know.
Listen, I don't blame you. I think my the only reason why because I'm super shy, the only reason I was able to just speak with him was I was like, oh right, we actually were cast together.
You were here.
Yeah, so I can tell him, hey, we were cast in this series together. But he's a really nice man. He's a gentleman.
Yeah, I'm sure he was super nice. You see him and he's very intimidating. You know what I mean? He looks intimidating.
Of course. I mean, he's this larger than life character, and he has like this aura about him, you know, when you see him, that commands respect, right? A bit.
Absolutely.
So I can understand why. If I didn't have America 2.0, I probably would have just not said anything.
Mr. Fishburne, hold the elevator.
And my hat. I was.
Oh, there you go. That's something. So you've done all these things: actress, host, entrepreneur. Actually, let's talk about a little bit about Bloomi. I know that's something you just launched too.
So Bloomin is like, so the folks at home know what it is. It's like adamandeve.com, except this one is better, right?
I don't know adamandeve.com.
It's where you can buy like sex stuff, right?
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe it's different. I don't know if it's the same.
We'll let her explain it.
Well, the Bloomi is a marketplace for, you know, sex positive, body positive, you know, education and image for women. It's made by a Latina, but it's also a marketplace where you buy products not only for sex, but also, you know, female hygiene products, you know, for female intimate care.
And you're an investor on the ground floor, I think is what the press release said. It's a pre-seed investor.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Yes, I'm really excited about it. When I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, I've always been really healthy and very conscious about, you know, what I use, what I put in my body, what I consume. But I got so sick that made me even much more aware. And so I turned my attention even to my intimate products. And Bloomi just came along. I met Rebecca, who's, you know, the founder and CEO of the Bloomi, a sexologist, a very, you know, a very interesting, smart, funny. She's a fascinating woman, and we just hit it off. And I fell in love with the Bloomi right away, and I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to be part of something that I know is going to help me have a more positive image of myself, of a relationship, a better relationship with my body, with my sex life, and you know, and share it with the world. And so that's what the Bloomi is.
What is your favorite product, if I might ask?
Ooh, I have so many, but right now I have to say my favorite product is the arousal oil.
Oh my.
It's really good.
Aaron's favorite too.
Listen.
I'm purchasing some right now.
It's for women, but men enjoy the benefits of it. And the thing about the Bloomi is that, for instance, the arousal oil, all our products all the ingredients in the arousal oil, everything is natural. So Bloomi is also holding like a higher standard for the intimate care products and sex products for women. So we have a stamp called Bloomi approved, which is really cool, which means that we saw what it has, we saw the ingredients, and they're all chemical free, toxic free, and that they're safe to use.
Is there not a regulation or a standard that other products have to go by, or?
No, there is not.
Oh,
there is not. And so now we're doing the Bloomi regulation, the standard. So if it's Bloomi approved, it's, you know, it's good. And some products are not, they're not forced by, you know, the FDA or any organization to unveil or reveal what are the ingredients, especially with intimate care products. And so this is why it also became really important to me, because I had an autoimmune disease, and everything that I consume and put in my body has to be extremely clean and as non-toxic as possible.
Yeah, that sounds super harmful if there's no regulation. I mean,
there's not.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And is the primary demographic Latinx women or all women?
Women and women of color, but all women, right?
Yes, all Latinx, you know, women of color, but really all women. Again, we're promoting, you know, having a positive relationship with your body, a sex positive relationship, because again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, where sex is still a taboo, we want to destigmatize talking about sex, talking about orgasm, being comfortable with it, and talking about your own experience, our own needs and wants as women, right?
Yeah, and it's not just sex stuff, it's like also like hygiene stuff too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All kinds of hygiene products. Okay.
Nothing for men. Neat.
What do you mean? You just said the men enjoy the whole aspect of it.
I would just think an easy rollout next year would be to get some products for men. Hey, I don't know.
Not for you.
Maybe I'll talk with Rebecca about that. But I can say for now that the men will, definitely enjoy the benefits of the arousal oil.
Christmas is coming up.
No, I like it. They're cornering the market and on like a
smart
thing that's been ignored somewhat.
I heard this in an interview that you did when you were talking about dealing with Hashimoto's disease, that you were vegan, right?
Yeah.
But the diet was part of the reason that you were actually having issues. I'm vegan, and so is Aaron. Can I ask what type of issues you were having, and how did you have to change your diet to kind of get normal?
Yes, I did. I was vegan for a long time, and I was...
For health or for animals?
Excuse me?
For health reasons or for animals? What made you go vegan?
For, conviction, for animal reasons, and also for health reasons. It was both, or what I thought it was for health reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that just, what I learned from this is that there's not one diet that works for... There's not one diet that just works for one person, meaning if you're just vegan and that's what's going to work for you because it worked for someone else. I don't think there's I think everyone is different. Everyone's organism is different. And then in my case, one of the first symptoms was, it's going to get really graphic. Not sleeping. I would spend like days where I would only get 2-3 hours of sleep during the day. Migraines, I learned to live with a migraine, which is insane to me. Like, I don't get migraines anymore. And when I get them, it's very rare. So imagine living with the migraine for years and having to put a cold compress or taking an anti-inflammatory, which is really bad for your gut, for your digestive tract, which is adding more fire to the flame. Constipation, the worst. Depression, that's where the depression came in. Body ache all over, muscle ache, joint pain, and the worst pain, like, imagine like when you do a workout that you've never done in your life and your body hurts. So imagine waking up like that every single day, not because you worked out.
Wow. And
you learn, the funny thing is that you learn how to live with it. Right. Some of the other stuff that was happening to me is that, like, in the middle of a rehearsal for Someday, actually, I collapsed. So I had several runs to the emergency room, and then they would do the blood test and tell me, oh, you're okay. You're just dehydrated. You're tired. Just get some rest, drink some water. And mind you, I've always been someone that drink a lot of water. I drink about 1 gallon of water a day. It's always been like that. And it wasn't until it got, I guess, really, really bad, that when they checked my thyroid, because I remember one time I got my thyroid checked, and a doctor said, oh, you have hypothyroidism. And I was like, what's that? What does that mean? Oh, no, that's okay. That just means that you can't gain weight. And of course, me being the actress, like, oh, I can't gain weight? No, that's...
Get some ice cream after this, yeah?
That's it. And the doctor said, oh, but don't worry about it. You know, the thyroid it will correct itself. So what happens with hypothyroidism is that your body is attacking itself. And usually that happens because 70% of our immune system lives in our digestive system, right? And so if your digestive system isn't working properly, then everything, you know, goes downward from there. And in the case of Hashimoto's, I guess the majority of autoimmune disease, but I can't talk for all of them, but for Hashimoto's for sure, usually you have a leaky gut. And so what happens is that you have some of, you know, your food is not being processed correctly, and so it starts leaking through your digestive tract to your bloodstream, and so your body's being attacked, and because it's being attacked, it starts defending itself and releasing, you know, the antibodies. And that's what Hashimoto's is. And so before it becomes an autoimmune disease, what happens is it becomes hypothyroidism because your thyroid is producing a lot of thyroid hormones to defend itself. And so after a while, it depletes itself. It stops producing the thyroid hormone, and then it becomes sluggish and becomes hypothyroidism, which is the opposite, which is slow thyroid. It's sluggish. And so that's when you start feeling the symptoms of being really, really tired, the migraine, missed periods, I mean, depression, a whole bunch of things. And I went to several doctors here, and one put me on a medication that didn't work. Another doctor here put me, which was the worst thing that I did, but I was so desperate that, you know, I wanted to find a solution. So I'm going with the doctor that worked for someone else. And that's the thing. See, there's not one thing that works for everyone. I went to this doctor that a friend of mine had recommended me to go, had referred me to, because she had Hashimoto's, and her treatment with this doctor worked out. So of course I went, but the treatment didn't work for me. This doctor put me on.
Is part of the treatment changing your diet then? Is that obviously part of it?
No, well, this doctor was insisting of me, and I didn't know that being vegan was part of what was causing the autoimmune, because I was also consuming vegan food has a lot of fiber, and when you have an autoimmune disease, your digestive system is not working correctly, and so too much fiber also makes your digestive system sluggish, right? And eating also a lot of raw foods, a lot of raw vegetables, all that was leaking into my bloodstream. And also in vegan food, there's a lot of processed food, right? There's a lot of stuff that contains tofu,
like the fake meats and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so all that stuff also turns into sugar, and so you already have a body that's on, you know, an immune system that it's on fire pretty much. You have a lot of inflammation going on, and this food that turns into sugar, it's creating even more inflammation. And so this doctor in particular was telling me, you know, just eat a plant-based diet. I'm like, I'm eating a plant-based diet already. And then a friend of mine in the Dominican Republic, I was telling her what was going on with me. I had gained a lot of weight. My face was puffy. My hands were puffy. It like, I had never been like that before. And I was desperate. I mean, I was even considering liposuction. I was like, I wasn't all there. I was literally considering getting plastic surgery, because I thought that would be the solution to get my body back to how I was used to having it. And luckily I spoke with my friend, and she said, you should come here to the DR. I have this doctor, you know, he's a really good friend of mine, and I'm treating myself with him, and maybe you should try it. He's doing stem cells. I was like, stem cells? Say no more. And I went to Dominican Republic, And I did several treatments, the B Core, where they cleanse out your body, your blood, and add, B vitamins and ozone, and then the stem cells. And right now, my Hashimoto's is in remission. So I don't have Hashimoto's anymore. I still have, So yeah. I'm a believer in stem cells. But I still have, which I'm treating right now, a sluggish T3, which is still hypothyroidism, but we're leveling that right now. And so in the Dominican Republic, they told me about a test called the Lcat Test. And what the Lcat Test is, it's like a food sensitivity test where it tells you, they draw your blood and they send it to the lab. And so it tells you on your DNA, what is the food that you're supposed to be eating? Like, what's the food that can cause inflammation in you, and what's the food that doesn't? And sure enough, everything that I was eating vegan was on the list of things that were causing moderate and severe inflammation in me. Broccoli, cauliflower, cilantro.
Oh, man.
I love cilantro.
I love broccoli.
Right? I love broccoli. I don't eat broccoli anymore. I mean, occasionally, I can eat broccoli if it has to be really, really well cooked. Because the broccoli has, it inhibits the production, how do you say it in English? It inhibits the absorption of iodine for the thyroid. And so I had to, take broccoli, all that food out of my diet. Broccoli, cauliflower, romaine lettuce, asparagus. I have the list.
So they put you on a carnivore diet, basically. Nothing meat.
Well, I've never eaten red meat, really, and I've never liked pork. I used to eat fish until I got food poisoning with fish. Probably, I must have had maybe an overload of maybe heavy metals, or the fish was just bad.
Which restaurant?
I won't say.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't here. Also, it wasn't here in the States, so
okay.
we're good.
I wanted to avoid it, so I was just making sure.
It's not here. If it were here, I would tell you, but it wasn't here. And so now what I do is I still eat a lot of vegetables. I just eat the vegetables that are like on the green list that are okay.
The good list.
Yes, and I eat animal product like one time a day, right? So I can eat chicken, so I only eat chicken breast. So let's say I still have my plant-based smoothies. So if I have animal product in the morning, the rest of the day is plant-based food, and vice versa. I just switch it around. And if I miss eating any of the foods that are on the, the ones that cause severe, well, not severe, but moderate to slight inflammation, because I really, really like it, like avocado, I have a little bit of reaction to it, and I love avocado. So I'll just, throw it in the diet, like maybe once every other week.
You'll risk it.
And I don't consume sugar. No sugar at all whatsoever.
Nice.
You guys don't need a lot of sugar. You guys don't need a lot of sugar either, right?
No, but when you say sugar, like bread, do you count that as sugar? Or?
Well, I miss bread. I don't
just
eat bread.
For the audience at home, just because it breaks down into sugar eventually.
Yes,
the only sugar I eat is beer.
There's beer? Well, yeah. Bread turns into sugar. All the carbohydrates pretty much all the refined carbohydrates turn into sugar.
So no bread either.
I just stay away from like grains. I don't eat any grains or flour. Of course, every now and then I'll have, I buy Ezekiel bread also, because everything has, how in the food industry, they add sugar to everything. And so they add sugar even.
It's pretty hard. Yeah, it's pretty hard not to completely avoid it.
Yes. So like Ezekiel bread, though, it doesn't have any sugar. So
nice.
if I want my nice little fix of bread, I'll just toast some Ezekiel bread with a little bit of olive oil and sea salt, and that'll do it for me.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better now, and
Thank you.
I'm glad it's in remission, which is amazing.
Yes, and hoping it stays that way. I think, knock on wood, we're gonna keep it like that. But I'm starting to feel so much better. Like I couldn't get out of bed to work out. Mood swings like crazy, or everything was either a lot of pain, or I could function like minimally, like just a few hours a day of work or whatever, and then I would have to be in bed. So it was pretty scary at one point.
Which makes sense, because with all the stuff that you do, I mean, because you do so many different things, you obviously need to have that rest, and you have to have that health, because otherwise you can't do anything.
Yes. But I like it though. Like I like staying active,
Right. And of all the things that you do, there's a long list of those things, what do you want to be most known for?
Oh, good question.
I'm gonna make you think.
Gosh. I don't, no sé. I mean, I like everything that I do. I guess actress, but that would be unfair because I do like producing as well,
You can only do one, Catherine. You can only do one.
You gotta pick.
Do I have to pick?
Just today.
Just today, okay.
And we're out of time.
Thanks for playing anyway, but
Acting. Okay, we'll do acting.
Cool, but you can do it all, as you are. Catherine, where can our audience find you?
They can find me on Instagram and Facebook at official Katherine Castro. And that's it.
Where can they find the podcast?
The podcast. Yes, the podcast at Talk Fast Listen on Instagram, and on YouTube, Talk Fast Listen Slow. And we recently, and on Instagram, and the Bloomi at the Bloomi on Instagram, and Talk Fast Listen Slow also on Facebook. And we just started also Somos Good News, the Latin version of Some Good News with Be Latina News. So you can find that on Be Latina News on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and their website, belatinanews.com. We just launched today, so we're excited about it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So when the podcast blows up, we would love to have you back again.
That's right.
So we can talk about all the amazing adventures you guys are having there. So
I'd love to come back, and you guys need to come on my podcast.
We would love to. We'd love to.
How are you, by the way? How are you guys doing with the quarantine?
It's life now. It's
right?
Luckily, we have this to keep us busy. I don't know. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing okay, because I'm a little bit like you. I can kind of be a bit of a loner sometimes. So I'm kind of cool being like, I just got to stay home. It sounds good to me. I don't have to talk to people. Beautiful.
But also you bought a dog.
I did. I just got a dog. Charlie, come here, bud.
Oh, hi, Charlie.
Bring him out.
He's coming.
How about you? You're playing music? Are you playing a lot of music?
Who?
This is Charlie, by the way.
Hi.
Aww.
Is he a rescue?
Yeah, I just got him like 10 days ago.
Oh my God.
Dude, I still says he looks like you, man. He looks like you.
He acts like me too.
He's the mascot of the show.
Sweet. Yeah. Exactly.
And I know this is not my podcast, but I want to ask you guys, who do you talk fast to and who do you listen slow to? Or both. Who do you talk fast and listen slow to?
Like friends and family? Is that the type of answer?
Whatever.
What does that mean, talk fast?
Well, talk fast. We Latinas and Latinos, we talk fast, right? You know how they always say, oh, those Latinos just talk so fast, or they're probably just fighting or having an argument. We just talk fast. We're very, lively like that. And listen slow. It's like, who do you really take in that information and listen, and who do you talk fast with? Like, who do you enjoy talking with? Fast and all that stuff.
I guess I talk fast, when I'm trying to be funny or entertain with my friends. And then maybe like listen slow, just my family.
Nice.
I would say I talk fast to Johnny because he's on the same level. And sometimes I need to talk slow. We do to Aaron to make sure that he doesn't antagonize the guests too much, which he didn't this time. He
outrageous.
was good.
I'm sorry, Austin. Did you say something? I wasn't listening.
I'll tell you later.
Oh,
I'll talk slower.
Okay.
Aaron, have you been playing a lot of? I'm seeing. What is that? I thought that was a guitar in the back.
Where?
What's that called?
This thing?
Yeah.
I thought it was a guitar.
A pennant. No, it's just from my college back in the day.
Aaron plays piano. Keyboard.
You do. You see, I wasn't too far off.
On an amateur level, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you play any instruments, Catherine?
I used to. When I was a kid, I did flute, piano, and guitar. I want to pick up piano again. So I think now is a good time to pick that back up. And every now and then I need to pick up guitar again also. I'm not that good as I was before, so.
What's your go-to song that you can just riff out and impress your friends at a party?
Volver. Volver.
Gesundheit? What was it? Is that Latina?
It's a Latin song, yeah. It's a very famous Latin song, Volver.
Okay, cool. I'll look it up.
Yeah, it's an old school one, oldie but good one. Do you know that one, Johnny?
Yeah, I know that song.
Yeah.
I don't really play any instruments, but when I was a kid, I played a mean recorder. Do you guys remember those?
Joyful. Do you play that song?
Hot cross buns, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. That's it.
Listen, as long as you play any instrument, aunque sea la puerta, something, right?
Sometimes not even that. So that's the problem.
Well, do you play music at home? Do you have music sometimes going on?
I used to DJ. I used to be a DJ, but not anymore. I left that world behind.
Well, why?
Hear the same songs you said.
I sold all my equipment. It was just taking up too much time, honestly. And it wasn't like I liked to do it, but it was taking time away from acting, filmmaking, things that I was more passionate about. And I also do photography. So I was like, I just don't want to do 20 different things. You know what I mean? Like, let me just like let go of that. Like, it was fun. It was a good time in life, but let's move on, you know?
Makes sense. I mean, you have to be passionate about it.
Yeah.
What about you, Austin? Do you play any instruments?
I played drums, kindergarten through like 12th grade.
What?
Yep. Guys, we should start a band.
Catherine is talking about starting a band right now.
Let's do it. I'll play the tambourine.
Okay.
Can I do the triangle? The triangle?
Guys, who's lead vocals? Who's lead vocals here?
Not me.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
I
don't know that we're going to fill stadiums, but...
That's
couple dive bars, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. I'll play the berimbau.
The what?
I'll play the berimbau, the Brazilian instrument, the capoeira instrument. The music, the instrument they play music with for capoeira.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It looks like a bow and arrow, pretty much. So
okay, I'm gonna learn. If we're in this band, what all these things are.
Done. When do we start?
Rehearsal on Zoom tomorrow?
Well,
May 16th after lockdown ends.
Perfect. Count me in.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Guys, when's this episode going to drop? Is it dropping this?
Next week?
I think it'll drop next week.
A week from today.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just wondering.
Yeah, we're pretty on it. Well, thank you so much, Catherine. I really appreciate your time. I know you're super busy, so I'm glad that we're able to get you on.
Oh, but I think right now we all have time,
That's
right?
That's true.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was so nice meeting you finally, Johnny, Austin, and Aaron. I hope to see you guys.
We'll see at the Whole Foods in WeHo.
Oh yeah, where do you live?
I live in K-Town.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm in Koreatown.
Okay. I like Koreatown. How about you?
It's not that hot.
Aaron and I live together.
We're actually in the same apartment right now, just in different rooms.
Oh really?
That's how much they love each other.
We can't be in the same room because the voices will echo.
Yeah.
Well, he's in one wing and then he's in the other wing. So
exactly.
You guys will always get along.
They don't sleep in the same bed. They can't do it.
Oh my God.
Since lockdown.
That's the recipe for a long-lasting relationship. Trust me. But I know you guys are. What, you guys are roommates? Like, have you always been roommates?
Ever since the womb. Roommates.
I mean, we weren't in college, but.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we lived
out here, yeah.
But, in high school.
Wait, hold on. Are you guys related?
We're twins.
Yeah, we're twins.
Oh, no way.
Got the beard going right now, so.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's why I was confused. Okay.
They don't look that much alike, do they?
No, they do actually.
Oh, there it comes.
You don't have to say that, Catherine. You don't have to say that.
No, you actually, I didn't know, so I didn't pay attention to that. I didn't know that.
Catherine was like, all white guys look the same.
Not true.
All right, great podcast, guys.
Not true. Oh, that's very, very cool. And where are you guys from originally?
Cleveland.
Ohio?
Mm-hmm.
You ever been?
I've never been, no.
That's their next stop. There you go. I'm from Arizona.
I like Arizona.
Do you? Most people don't say that.
I do. I had a good time in Arizona. I have some friends there. But I've never been to Ohio.
It's
really
totally different.
It's cold in the winters, really humid and hot in the summers.
But the city's got a lot of heart, or the whole state.
Yeah, a lot of charisma.
Nice. Well, humidity, I mean, it's getting pretty humid here. It's almost
True.
Almost like the Dominican Republic. It's insane. But
at least you got the nice tropical weather sometimes, though. I've never been to DR, but.
Oh, you guys should go. We have a nice, well, right now it's very, very hot, so I hear, and humid as well, but, we have the most amazing beaches, amazing food, and when Christopher Columbus discovered America, it was in the Dominican Republic.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, so we have La Catedral, so we have the first cathedral in America, the first university in the whole of Americas. In the Dominican Republic, we have El Alcázar de Colón, which is where Christopher Columbus used to live. We have that, the old city. We've kept it, intact. We refurbished it, but kept it with the same, designs.
So you wish,
really cool.
So you wish it was still called Columbus Day instead of Indigenous Peoples Day.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, no.
All right, I get it.
But you admire Christopher Columbus because he discovered it.
He didn't discover it, but that's another conversation.
We would have found it anyway. Come on. Somebody would have found it anyway.
It was already inhabited, right? Ya estaba habitado por los taínos.
Right.
So, but, that's a whole other topic. But long story short, you guys, I think, would like the Dominican Republic.
One day.
Tropical weather.
We'll need a tour guide, though.
Done.
We should take the podcast down there and broadcast live, like a special.
I was just gonna say that maybe you guys should do that. Let's, when this is over, the best time to go to the DR is between December and April.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the weather is really nice. We get here hurricane season starting from June until December, and so you don't want to be there until December 1st. It gets really, really hot, lots of rain, lots of storms. So by the mid to end of December until April is really nice and cool, and get a nice breeze, and beaches are stunning. So we'll plan it.
Yeah, love it.
Sounds beautiful to me. And then let us know the new projects when they do come out. We would love to come to premiere, support you.
Hell yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you. Would love to have you guys.
Definitely let us know.
For having me.
Absolutely. We'll blast this out when this drops on, whenever it drops, we'll blast it out on social media and stuff. So you'll see it there.
I'll share it.
All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day.
You too. Happy quarantine.
Yeah, you too. Be safe.
Bye. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Slide into our DMs anytime.
Okay.
I will. I have to make sure I'm following all of you on Instagram.
I think you're following me. I followed you back, it said.
I did? Oh, so I already see? I was already following you. Let me see.
No, that was her PR person that followed me on her account.
I think you're already following me too, Catherine.
What?
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah.
Hold on.
You're already following me. At least I think you are.
Catherine doesn't control her own accounts. We're learning this now.
That's not true. Aaron Arnold. I'm following you, Aaron Arnold.
Hey, I don't like, I like your new format for Instagram better. Like when I see individual pictures, like months ago, and you're doing like the mosaics.
Yes.
They're pretty and artsy, but I like the individual pictures.
Individuals. Yeah, I went back to individuals. I got so tired of social media. At one post, I was like, let me just do these artsy ones and not post in
Yeah, that's better, I think.
3 weeks. And Austin, I think I'm following you too.
Whoa, which account am I following?
Oh, I'm following you. I just followed you back.
Okay, neat.
There you are. We're all following each other now.
Called her out on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, my loves. Well, yeah, keep me posted. I'll share with everyone as well, and I hope to see you guys in person soon.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Be safe.
Appreciate you, Catherine.
Take care.
You guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's see if you can do it.
No. Oh, I got it.